Hi, my name is Dominique. I am on a natural weight loss journey, which means I am not using GLP-1s to lose weight. I start with that because as someone who has been creating weight loss, fitness, wellness content for the past 4 years, I feel like people on a journey such as mine is the minority now.
Here's some of my gym girl hot takes, because I'm sick of holding back. If you have to hop on certain substances or be injecting certain things in order to achieve or maintain a physique, in my humble opinion, I just don't think that you've reached the skill level yet to unlock that physique. I don't think you're ready for it. I don't think you really deserve it. Sorry.
So I want to be gentle when I say this. I'll hold your hand. But I feel like if you're on peptides, I think that you're mentally ill. I'm sorry.
Why is nobody talking about the huge concern of social media pushing peptides and all these pills and crazy stuff? I feel like it's going to have a long-term effect that a lot of people don't talk about. I've been training naturally for the last 8 years of my life, right? And what that has installed in me is utmost discipline that I wouldn't have been able to obtain unless I went through this grueling cycle of training for the last 8 years.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ria and I am on a weight loss and a health and fitness journey. I've lost 70 pounds and I want to share with you exactly how I did it. So I am someone that used peptides in my weight loss journey. So peptides, I believe, are amino acids and different chemical compounds that are found naturally in the body, and some people lack them or lack certain peptides or certain hormones, should I say, in the body, and they take them externally to help optimize how their body is operating. So peptides are really popular in the kind of underground gym space, and the bodybuilding space is kind of it's like the middle ground between sort of like supplements and vitamins and stuff like that, and the more extreme stuff like gear and those extreme things that the bodybuilders take. So peptides are kind of in the middle there, and they are something that I have researched with a lot on myself, and they have been great for me. So I just wanted to share my journey just in case anyone out there is thinking of doing the same thing. So I just wanted to make it clear that I'm just sharing my journey. I'm not giving anyone any medical advice whatsoever. So for as long as I can remember, I've been overweight. So I've been on a weight loss journey for many, many years. And when I say many years, I mean maybe 10 plus years. So I'm in my mid-30s now. And looking back on different events in my life, weight has always been an issue. And now that I have lost the weight, I'm realizing that it's probably even more of an issue that than I realized at the time. I think I was in a little bit of denial about how much being overweight was affecting different areas of my life. So my friendships, my work even, and definitely my health. And it's only recently that I have been able to get that under control, and that's through researching biohacking and researching peptides. And I've spoken about this before on a couple of other videos. If you want to go and check them out, I would really appreciate it, because I'm a brand new channel and your support means so much to me. Sorry guys, I tend to ramble a lot, so I make notes on my iPad just to make sure I don't go off topic. But yeah, I'm someone that has been on a journey for a very long time. I work full-time, and I work very difficult shifts. So I work swing shifts. So sometimes I might be working really early in the morning. Sometimes I might be working really late at night. Occasionally, very occasionally, I might even do an overnight shift. So the industry that I'm in and the sector that I work in is very busy, very hectic. So I think all of those things put together made it really difficult for me to see results trying to lose weight naturally. And a lot of people criticize people who aren't able to lose weight naturally. Okay, so you could be someone that is doing everything right in the gym, but because you have some sort of underlying hormone imbalance, or because your chemical makeup and your metabolism isn't the same as you know, the next person's, you're naturally at a disadvantage. So you know, I believe that sharing my unnatural route could help someone like that, because that was definitely me. So again, I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not telling you to copy me, because these things don't come risk free. So please do your research when looking into peptides. So I saw someone say on a video a couple of weeks ago that peptides are as controversial as politics, and you know, you're either for one party or you're against it. There's kind of no in between. So that's something that I've definitely noticed online. I'm in the health and fitness community on, well, at least my algorithm is in the health and fitness community at the moment, and I see a lot of people saying, oh, I've lost X amount of weight naturally, or you know, I've done you know, I've reached this milestone and I haven't used any injection. So it's, you know, it's definitely a phenomenon that I have noticed. It might just be that, you know, the echo chamber that I'm in, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about it and share my take on it as someone who is very pro peptides, biohacking, and all of that stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is why I chose the unnatural route, why I chose to use peptides in my journey. So I'll put a list of all of the peptides that I use, and a brief description of what they actually do and how they help me. What I had tried before was many things. So all of the things that people try to tell you to do the natural way. So I tried eating less and moving more. I tried you know, all of the supplements, all of the fad diets. The thing that worked the best for me, looking back over the years, was, if you're from the UK as well, you will remember this phenomenon. The Joe Wicks, the body coach guy, and he sort of did a 90-day plan, and it was like a mini bodybuilding plan where you kind of like, you went on a cut, and then you went on a bit of a bulk, and then you maintained, even though he named those three phases of his plan completely different, as something completely different, but it was basically like a mini bodybuilding plan. And that really worked because it was the first trend that I could remember that wasn't telling you to extremely cut down on your food and to cut out on your food. It encouraged people to eat voluminous foods, and to eat lots of food, as you have to if you're like kind of bodybuilding or something like that. And it did work while I was on the plan, but you know, a couple of years later, you know, you can't stick to like a strict bodybuilding plan. Well, I couldn't, at least. I'm sure people out there can, but I couldn't stick to a strict bodybuilding plan consistently. And just, you know, like all of the other diets, the weights sort of crept back up. and if you've watched my other videos, you know that food was a massive thing that I struggled with, and now that I know that there is a word for what I struggled with, and that is food noise, specifically sugar and sweet treats. And I had a massive sweet tooth, and no matter what I did, I couldn't kick this sweet tooth, and I was going to the gym and doing like loads of exercise 5 times a week, HIIT workouts, Barry's boot camp, Soul Cycle, those type of like really intense workouts to try and burn off the fat, cardio heavy stuff as well. And I would basically just come home and ruin it because I was just ravenous, and I would try to eat healthy and it would last a little while, and I would then go on to something very unhealthy, and that would be a pattern, and I wasn't able to lose the weight. So that was my experience of trying to do everything natural. It put a huge toll on my body. I was very inflamed, and it did not work for me. Then I would say about 2 to 3 years ago, I started hearing the rumblings of Ozempic, and at first I kind of just ignored it. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I'd hear it here and there because I always had an interest in health and fitness and the gym. Then I've just realized, you guys, you can see all of my like messy sofa that I haven't bothered to clean up and make look aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, I first heard about Ozempic, and then I started hearing about Mounjaro, and then it kind of blew up on TikTok, and loads of sort of everyday people started talking about the benefits of it, and I started paying attention to it because these were people that kind of didn't really have an interest in health and fitness. They were kind of like busy mums and just normal, average, everyday people, and they were losing like massive amounts of weight, and they were saying that it was the first thing that had ever worked for them. And I kind of went down that rabbit hole, and I kept following loads and loads of people who were taking the GLP-1s, and I followed them for a really, really long time, and I would watch loads of people, and I've got my favorite kind of creators that I followed, and I gave it a lot of thought before I went on to take Ozempic, and I took it, and it worked great for me. It was the first week I took it, I think I lost 4 pounds. And then the second week I took it, I lost 6 pounds. And, that's almost a stone in 2 weeks. And I couldn't believe it. And it just went on from there. And as I've explained in my other videos, the Ozempic worked well, but it's not very strong. It worked for a little while. And then my weight loss slowed down dramatically. And the provider that I was using wasn't very good, and I think they were overwhelmed because at the time it was booming, the GLP-1s, and I wasn't getting my medication on time. So then I switched providers to Mounjaro, and that was going absolutely great, perfectly, until in the UK they I believe got greedy and decided to increase the price of Mounjaro, and it became very, very expensive, and a lot of people were outraged online. And then I can't, because the algorithm is so good, especially on TikTok, it kind of led me towards something called the grey market, that was kind of selling these peptides, but you don't get them through a chemist. You get them directly from the source. So this is why I say don't just blindly follow even me or anyone that talks about peptides, because you do have to know where to get them from a reputable place, because they're not coming through a strict medical pharmacy. So that can cause some issues, as I'm sure you would imagine. But anyway, I'll try to stop lecturing you guys, because I'm sure you all know about that. So yeah, I then decided to get GLP-1s off label, and while I was researching, I stumbled across Retatrutide, and then I discovered the whole kind of underground gym community that take peptides, and it's kind of mixed in with steroids and gear as well. And they keep it on the ground for obvious reasons. But I just fell down the rabbit hole, and I found all of these different peptides that were beneficial for me. At the beginning, I was scared, because I thought they were steroids, and that they were things that could ruin your health. And they actually absolutely can be, but for me, they worked really well. And I started taking a range of different peptides, not just for weight loss. So I'm on a GLP-3 technically, called Retatrutide, which is going to be the next GLP-1 that comes out after Mounjaro. So Ozempic is a GLP-1, Mounjaro is technically a GLP-2, and Retatrutide will be a GLP-3. And there are even GLP-4s out there that I have tried, but they were just way too strong. And Retatrutide has been the best peptide for me, especially for weight loss and getting rid of inflammation. And the rest have helped me a lot mentally, physically. I'm a busy person. I work a lot, and they have helped me stay consistent. However, it hasn't just been the peptides. They're not just magic potions. I have done the work. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and because I can only usually go 3 to 4 times a week, I make them like long, intense sessions. So lots of heavy lifting, lots of cardio. I've got a very strict routine. I say I would eat, and it's not a flex, me trying to flex or anything, but probably like 98% clean. The peptides have helped me cut out junk food, and they've helped me kind of rewire my brain as to why to the point where I don't even crave anything unhealthy. I only want sometimes I might crave a few crisps or something like that, but for the most part it's fruits, fresh vegetables, and meat, and healthy carbs. I love a lot of rice at the moment, and that's it. So one of the arguments that I say that I see a lot, weight loss peptides and GLPs they're cheating. So first of all, it's like there's a bit of I don't like the word fat phobia in there, but fat phobia is definitely a thing, especially as I feel like it is overused. However, as someone that has lost over 70 pounds now, fat phobia is definitely a thing. And I feel like in the world at large, but specifically the fitness community, they have this idea that like if you do lose weight, it kind of, you get a badge of honor if it's hard work and it's hard graft. And in one of the video clips that I have played, they kind of, a lot of people insinuate that you haven't earned it. Now I can kind of see where they're coming in some respects, as to I have seen people be on GLP-1s, and they're basically like letting the GLP do all of the work for them, and they're not going to the gym, they're not eating healthy, they're just kind of letting the GLP kind of nuke their appetite, and they're not putting in any effort to make the real change. And a lot of people do that. However, most people on GLP-1s that I have met as well aren't like that. They do go to the gym, and they do work out, or they do their walks, or whatever they're able to do for their lifestyle, and they are excited, like myself, that they have just finally found something that works for them, because the reality is not everyone has the same body chemistry. Not everyone is 20 years old, and there's a lot of young people that are making these videos criticizing people who are on GLPs. And as we get older, I'm in my mid to late 30s, the metabolism definitely slows down, and what I could do in the gym 10-15 years ago, I definitely cannot do now. And weight loss isn't it's not a race. It's it doesn't only count if it's painful, and you're at the gym 3 hours a day after your 8 to 10 hour, 12-hour shift, or whatever it is. Weight loss is about what is best for your body, and a lot of us need less stress in our lives usually, and being at the gym for hours and hours is very stressful for certain people. It's not if you're a young person that doesn't have many responsibilities, or if maybe your profession is the gym, is being in the gym a long time is not going to be stressful. But for the average person that works 40 plus hours a week, or whatever it is, that type of extreme is going to be stressful. And we do live in an unhealthy society, unfortunately, where unhealthy foods are readily available, and it does take a lot to lose that weight and not slip into that lifestyle. And some of us do need that help. So that's not to say that GLPs are an instant fix, but some people just need a little something to help make that consistency easier for them. It's an argument that I guess we could go around in circles with forever. Like I said at the beginning, it's like politics. You could argue politics or religion and all of that stuff till you're blue in the face. But all I'm saying is that for me, the GLPs have worked, and if you're worried about taking them, maybe they will work for you too. Just you never know until you try. The second point that I've kind of covered already is that people assume that people taking peptides are lazy. Again, this is kind of based on the GLPs. The other peptides that people use that improve your skin and help build muscle, and there are many other peptides that help with inflammation. They're kind of not in the mainstream, and I find that people only attack the GLPs because they are the most popular one. But again, I have a very physical job. So lots of walking, lots of heavy lifting, late nights, early mornings, type of industry that I am in. And so I'm definitely not lazy. I was someone that used to work out 4 to 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And it just wasn't working. I will admit that I did have a terrible sweet tooth, and I was not able to eat correctly, and that was definitely contributing to me being nearly 250 pounds and only, you know, I'm only 5'3", I'm only a short woman. So that was the issue with me, but that does not mean I was lazy. Just because someone is in a bigger body doesn't mean that they are lazy, and just because someone chooses to go down this route and use peptides or GLPs from a clinic or a chemist, that doesn't mean that they are lazy automatically. You know, there are it's not as black and white as that, but people put things on the internet for clicks and clickbait, so they say things that are kind of like antagonistic. So that is my view on that one. Risks and criticisms that I actually agree with. So I do not believe that peptides are harmless. I have said this before. Certain peptides, especially if you have a strong history of cancer or you know, kind of any disease along those lines, you have to be very careful with certain peptides because they can stimulate growth in the body, especially the growth hormone leaning peptides that people use to build muscle. The side effect that can come from those is that though they grow all of the hormones in your body, including maybe some dormant cancerous or dormant dangerous cells in your body, can sort of like be reactivated from these peptides, they think. Also, there are some peptides that have very little studies behind them, so doctors don't really know much about them, and they're kind of like readily available for you to buy if you know the right places to go and experiment with, and they can definitely be dangerous. So you do have to do your research, and yeah, it's kind of like at your own risk, and it is sometimes I do think it's pretty mad that you can just buy them on the internet, I'm not gonna lie. But on the other side, I felt as well that like getting these peptides from the chemist is kind of like, especially when they increased the prices of them, it's kind of like you can tell that it's big pharma. They're capitalizing on weight loss, which is, you know, a very profitable industry. The GLP-1 industry is worth billions at the moment, and you know, the big pharma are kind of like turning the Monjaros and the Ozempic, Wegovy's, everything else into a bit of a rip-off, if you ask me. So there goes all of my future brand deals. But I've got to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't get it from a clinic because I can kind of just, I know it has to be, the good thing about getting it from a pharmacy and a clinic is that it is 100% safe. You are monitored by a I thought I'd stop recording there, thank God. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the good thing about it is that you are monitored by a health professional when, oh, it's a bit of a wide angle, I don't know what's happened there, guys, but yeah, you are monitored by a health professional when you're taking these. They are medications, so it is a risk to obviously take these medications from non-health professional people, and to research them by yourself. However, if you give these companies too much power, they will abuse it. And I believe that I think that there has been a big shift to grey market, and they have pushed people to kind of like go and look in that direction, and then people are stumbling across peptides and other things. And if these companies hadn't have been so greedy in the first place and just kept these the prices of the GLP-1s affordable, then they probably would have made more money in the long run, especially as someone that has a little bit of investment in these companies. I kind of keep an eye on their stocks and stuff, and when they increased the price, as you know, they were on a great run, sort of a year and a half, 2 years ago, shall we say, then they increased the price, and their profit margins and their stock value has gone down quite a bit since then. So yeah, do that information what you will. I also believe that when they do introduce Reta into the mainstream, the stock will go up again. So if you are interested in investing in a company like Eli Lilly or whoever, it's probably a good idea to do it kind of like before the end of the year. You might see some good returns. Not giving any financial advice as well before I get into trouble for saying that as well. So yeah, there are genuine risks, health risks, when these products are self-sourced. We shouldn't blindly copy influencers. So there are a lot of young influencers on TikTok, even though it's quite hard to post on TikTok now, because they're kind of like cracking down on content around the peptides. But you know, there's still a lot of influencers out there that are talking about these medications as if they're harmless. So we shouldn't you know, pretend that the risks that come with these peptides, especially the more unknown ones, aren't life changing if it doesn't go wrong. So yeah, that is it. My life has completely changed because of peptides. Personally, I have done so much research around this subject. I'm very confident in how they have helped me personally in my life. And there are certain peptides that I take, certain peptides that I avoid because I'm just worried about the risks. But ultimately, they have helped improve my mental health, and they've helped improve my physical health. So I'm not going to stop taking them at the moment. My energy has completely improved since losing 70 pounds, as I'm sure you can imagine. I'm more confident. The way the outside world treats me now that I've lost all of the weight is, you know, night and day. And yeah, I just enjoy the little things. So, you know, being able to, you know, just go shopping and be able to kind of like pick up anything, and it will look good, and I can kind of go into any shop, or if I see something online, I don't have to worry if it comes in a certain size. It's usually readily available to me, and just not feeling like I'm constantly not being catered for is great. The relationships that I have around me, and the way that people treat me unfortunately is great now compared to how it was before. So it's a sad world that we live in, where from a certain angle, but this is also the game that we have to play, especially as women. I know as men, you are judged on the way you look, but as women, we are judged on the way we look, especially as we begin to slowly age and whatnot. So anything that you could do to kind of improve your health and your image is unfortunately something that needs to be seriously considered for us to move around in this world. So in that sense, I do not consider taking peptides cheating. I would do it again. It's not a shortcut. It's just, you know, a way of playing this game of life that we all have to play while we're here. So I hope you enjoyed my take. Let me know if you have taken any peptides or any GLPs, and if you're kind of considering taking something else, you know, other stuff. I'm rambling, guys, but you know what I mean. You know, if you're curious about any other specific peptides, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can make a video about that in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back soon to talk to you again about my journey and keep you updated. So I will see you again really soon. Thanks guys for watching.